The doorway to terror. Emma Foster was an ordinary woman with an extraordinary thirst for adventure. Her life was structured yet fulfilling. A stable job as a graphic designer, a cozy apartment in the heart of the city, and a close-knit group of friends. However, the monotony of her daily routine often drove her to seek excitement in the most unexpected places. One fateful Saturday, while wandering through a flea market, Emma stumbled upon a curious object at a dusty antique stall. An ornate, old-fashioned key. Intrigued by its intricate design and the air of mystery surrounding it, she bought it on impulse. The vendor, an elderly woman with piercing blue eyes, warned her, "This key opens more than just doors. It holds the power to change your life forever. Be careful where you use it." Emma laughed off the warning as a playful attempt to add mystique to the purchase. That night, as she examined the key in her apartment, she noticed something odd, a door she had never seen before, tucked away in a corner of her living room. It was weathered and ancient, out of place in her modern decor. Driven by curiosity and a sense of adventure, Emma inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The first descent. The door creaked open, revealing a swirling vortex of darkness. Hesitating only for a moment, Emma stepped through, and the world around her dissolved into a blur. When the dizziness subsided, she found herself in her apartment again, but something was off. The colors were muted, and the air felt heavy, as if infused with a sense of foreboding. Shrugging off the unease, she went about her evening routine. As she prepared dinner, the knife slipped, slicing her finger. Blood pooled on the cutting board, and she felt a sharp, unbearable pain spreading from the cut. She tried to stop the bleeding, but it only intensified, the pain morphing into something far beyond a simple injury. Panicking, she stumbled to the phone, but before she could dial for help, darkness engulfed her. An endless nightmare. Emma woke with a start, drenched in sweat, her heart racing. She was back in her bed, the room dimly lit by the morning sun. Confused, she checked her finger. There was no cut. She dismissed the incident as a vivid nightmare and tried to shake off the lingering dread. As the day progressed, small anomalies began to pile up. Clocks that seemed to tick backward, reflections in the mirror that didn't quite match her movements, whispers at the edge of her hearing. By evening, she was on edge, every shadow a potential threat. She decided to call it an early night, hoping sleep would bring clarity. Instead, it brought horror. She awoke to the sensation of suffocation, her throat constricted by invisible hands. She gasped for air, thrashing desperately, but the grip tightened, and black spots danced before her eyes. Just as she felt herself slipping away, she was jolted awake once more, back in her bed, the morning sun filtering through the curtains. The pattern revealed. Days turned into weeks, each morning beginning with a sense of dread. Emma found herself trapped in a cycle of terror, reliving the same day over and over. Every night brought a new, gruesome death. Drowning in her bathtub, burning alive in her kitchen, being torn apart by unseen forces. No matter what she did, she always woke up in her bed, unscathed but traumatized. Determined to break the cycle, Emma began to document her experiences, searching for patterns or clues. She noticed subtle differences in her surroundings each day, objects slightly out of place, minor alterations in the layout of her apartment. One morning, she discovered a message scrawled on her bathroom mirror in her own handwriting. "Find the key." A glimmer of hope. Hope ignited within her. The key must be the answer, the way out of this hellish loop. She scoured her apartment, searching every nook and cranny, but the key was nowhere to be found. As the days blurred together, Emma grew more desperate, her mind fraying under the constant strain of fear and death. One evening, as she lay exhausted on her couch, she had a revelation. The key had brought her here, and the key could set her free, but it wasn't the physical key she needed. It was a metaphor, a symbol of understanding the nature of her prison. The old woman's warning echoed in her mind. This key opens more than just doors. The turning point. Emma realized that her own actions and choices were the real key. Each day, she had approached her predicament with fear and desperation, reinforcing the cycle. She needed to confront her fears, to face the horrors head-on instead of running from them. That night, as the familiar dread settled in, she steeled herself for whatever awaited her. When the darkness came, she faced it with newfound resolve. The pain was excruciating, but she refused to succumb. She embraced the terror, accepting it as part of her reality. As she did, the shadows began to recede, and the pain lessened. For the first time in weeks, she felt a glimmer of hope. The final confrontation. Over the next few days, Emma continued to confront her fears, each night growing stronger, more resilient. She began to understand the rules of her twisted reality, learning to manipulate her surroundings. The messages on the mirror became clearer, guiding her towards her ultimate goal. One fateful night, the vortex appeared in her living room again. She knew this was her chance. Stepping through, she found herself in a dark, endless void. The shadowy figure that had tormented her materialized before her, its form shifting and indistinct. "Who are you?" Emma demanded, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. "I am your fear, your pain, your guilt," the figure replied, its voice a chilling whisper. "I am the darkness within you." Emma took a deep breath, focusing on the truth she had discovered. "You are a part of me, but you do not define me. I control my fate." The figure laughed, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. "Do you think you can escape? You belong here, in this darkness." "No," Emma said firmly. "I choose to leave." Breaking free. Summoning all her strength, Emma reached out, her hand touching the figure. The darkness writhed and twisted, trying to pull her in, but she held firm, focusing on the light within her. Slowly, the void began to brighten, the shadows dissipating. The figure shrieked, its form dissolving into nothingness. With a final burst of effort, Emma tore through the darkness, the void collapsing around her. She found herself back in her apartment, the morning sun streaming through the windows. The air was fresh, the colors vibrant. She checked her surroundings. Everything was in its place. Emma felt a profound sense of peace. She had faced her fears, conquered her demons, and broken free from the cycle of horror. The door in her living room was gone, replaced by a blank wall. The key lay on the table, a reminder of the journey she had endured. The aftermath. Life slowly returned to normal, though the memories of her ordeal lingered. Emma found herself appreciating the mundane details of everyday life, the small moments of joy and connection. She had been to the depths of despair and emerged stronger, more resilient. The key remained with her, a symbol of her strength and courage. She kept it in a drawer, a reminder of the parallel universe she had escaped. Occasionally, she would dream of the darkness, but she no longer feared it. She knew that she had the power to overcome anything. As the years passed, Emma's life flourished. She found love, started a family, and built a life filled with happiness and purpose. The horrors of the parallel universe became a distant memory, a testament to her inner strength. But sometimes, late at night, when the world was quiet and still, she would catch a glimpse of a shadow in the corner of her eye, a fleeting reminder of the darkness that once held her captive. And she would smile, knowing that she had faced the ultimate terror and emerged victorious.
Dear viewers, if you like to watch the scariest horror stories, do subscribe, like and share our channel. Thank you.